Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And today we're going to be taking a look at Fairy Tail Volume 41 from Hiro Mashima, which is the continuation and really the conclusion of the mini Village of the Sun arc, which began at the end of the last volume and wraps up in this volume, making way for the next big arc, which is the Tartaros Arc. And a lot of crazy shit's going to go down in those next few volumes. But, this is a bit of a change in pace because we just had that huge Grand Magic Games arc and, the battle against all the dragons and Future Rogue and all that crazy stuff. And then our heroes made our way home, celebrated a little, and then have another quest to go on at the hands of Warren Sequane, who is one of the four emperors of Ishgal, one of the high-ranking wizards in the world here, and led them to the Village of the Sun, where they found all the giants who are frozen. And it ended with a little cliffhanger with Urza going her own way, and she actually turned into a child. And you can see on the cover here, there she is as little Urza and also little Natsu. And then, oh, look at that, we got Minerva, this guy over here, and then Gray. So Gray takes center stage here, and definitely a lot of important plot developments for his character. So let's get right into this. Oh, and also Flare. She kind of cameoed in the last volume, and she actually plays a role in this volume as well. So good to see her again. Lucy's, I guess, friend now, so that's nice. But, here's little Urza, and just the scenes of her just looking at her like, oh no, I've turned to a child, and touching her chest, looking down there like, what's going on? And then, not only is it icy, but also because, she's not used to walking around as a small child anymore, she slips on the ice and her boots fall off, and it's like, no, my body doesn't work like it used to. What's going on? Help me. And then she's thinking for a minute, like, what everyone would say, like, Wendy's, oh, I'm the big sister now. Ha, we can take you on now, Urza. And then even Joel, forgive me, I'm not into this sort of thing. And wait a minute, why the hell is Dornbolt there blushing? What, is he into little girls? I mean, what the hell? But anyway, Urza's like, I got to change back, what's going on? And elsewhere, we have the treasure hunting guild, Sylph Labyrinth, who's here, and they want to find the treasure. And they don't really use any magic, but they have their own weapons. Like, the one guy has a sniper rifle, the other guy has a giant hammer, the other guy has a sword. So they're here trying to get the treasure. And it was pretty cool. The one guy was sniping away, and then Lucy called that Sagittarius with his arrows. So they're all battling. And they were taunting that they had the moon drip, right? Which you might remember from really early on the Galuna Island arc, which they were using to, melt Deliora, the demon of the Book of Zareth. And Gray's like, oh, we can use this to melt all the ice, when in all actuality, I mean, look at it. It's not a whole lot. How are they going to melt all the giants and everything? So they play Ring Around the Rosie, and they start throwing it at each other. And, Gray's throwing it to Natsu, Natsu over to Lucy. I love all these scenes. And they're going Ring Around the Rosie. This guy's firing away, throwing it over to Wendy, throwing it to Carla, and then Carla to Happy. Aye, sir! And poor Happy, look at him just standing there. Oh no, it goes over his head. And it crashes. Look at Carla's face and everyone else's face. No, what have you done? It's broken. I'm sorry. But as suspected, I mean, just a little vial of moon drip is not going to do much, and it's not even affecting the ice that it's on. So they're like, oh shit, well, we got to come up with a different solution. And as all this is going on, Natsu says he can hear something, puts his ear close to the ice, and says, someone's voice sounds familiar. It's calling me. So he's going after the voice that he hears. And, everyone goes their own separate ways here. The treasure hunters are like, oh, what are we going to do? We can't come back empty-handed. Oh, we'll take those keys that cute blonde chick has. They're rare. Dun, dun, dun. Like, the one guy has this catchphrase where he says, dun, all the time. I don't know what the hell his deal is. But anyway, so this guy comes over here, and Natsu's like, hey, are you part of those treasure hunters? I'm no robber. Go back to a day long past. And with his magic, he's able to send Natsu back into a child, similar to what happened to Urza. And he's struggling, his pants are falling down, his scarf doesn't fit him tight, which, Igneal gave him that scarf when he was a child. So, I don't know, I guess you can just wrap the scarf tighter, but all his other clothes don't fit. And Urza's trying to figure out how to re-equip. She can still manifest her swords and whatnot, but not as powerful as before. It uses a lot of magic. She can't use any more armor. And then Minerva shows up. How far Titania has fallen. And you see there's a new guild emblem on Minerva, and she's part of a dark guild now called Succubus Eye. And basically, using that other guy who we just saw, his magic to turn Urza small, she's working with a dark guild now because she's no longer part of Sabretooth because they've reformed their ways. Minerva wants to get her revenge on Urza for being humiliated in the Grand Magic Games. So, this guy's name is Doriate, by the way. So, there you go. He's part of Succubus Eye as well, as you can probably figure out. So, Natsu's like, I can take you on. I'm all fired up. And he starts using his fire dragon roar. It's just a little bit of dust. Nothing works. And he's like, no, how come my magic's not working? So, Natsu's like, I gotta get out of here. And he just runs away. So, and this guy, he takes off like his handkerchief that he's wearing. And you see his mouth there. And he says he's an inhuman. Really, he's a demon. We're going to learn in a minute. So, but anyway, the treasure hunters are following them. And they have like cat masks on. And they're like, eek, what are you guys doing? Oh, we should have dressed up as the blue cat instead. So it's like, what the hell, man? He kind of looks like Nietzsche, doesn't he? But anyway, they're all fighting back, and Wendy's like, come on, don't hurt us, we'll fight back. We don't want to harm you, but if I have to. And you see how powerful Wendy is. I mean, she's just a little girl who doesn't want to use her magic, but when the time comes, she has to. So they're fending off these guys when the sniper comes out again and starts firing at the two of them. Oh no! They have such good reflexes to dodge those that sniper rifle up there. I mean, my goodness, the guy has a scope and everything, and he's still missing. He must really suck. But just in the nick of time to help them defend themselves, Flare shows up. And the one guy says something, this is Flare's response. Let's see. We're 3 men, they're 2 little girls. What do they think they can do? Gotcha. And then Flare says, 3 little girls with red hair, black hair, and 1 blondie. Ha ha ha. So Flare to the rescue with her boobage hanging out better than ever. So Flare says that she's been following Lucy. I guess she kind of has a little crush on Lucy. Like, look at her, following her home, watching her sleep, and then hanging out with her in the bath. So, anyway, Flare says, this mark that she has here is actually the mark of the Village of the Sun. And she was raised by the Giants way back when. And, she didn't really fit in with the Giants because she's a human. I don't know how she ended up there, but she ended up living there and wanted to go with the humans. And it was sort of misguided. That's how she ended up with Raventail, but is reforming her ways as we speak. And now that she sees the Giants all frozen, she wants to help them, help her family get back to normal. So this guy starts cutting Flare's hair, and then Lucy summons cancer, and he starts washing. Look at her face, washing her scalp, carriage, hair growth. Oh, that feels so good. We're here to help the Giants. Let's fight together. And Flare's all rejuvenated now. I'm back, baby. So her hair is as good as ever, and they're all using their magic. Lucy even summons Virgo, and with Virgo, she can her ability. They all have wacky abilities. Her ability is that she can dig holes and tries to dig a hole, but can't because of the ice, and she just falls flat on her head and says, "Oh, it's punishment time. Will you please punish me?" So. Anyway, they all take advantage of these guys, defeat them pretty easily, and with their fun battles and stuff. And I was just dying. I mean, laughing my ass off watching this whole thing, reading the whole thing, I should say. Yeah, there's Virgo. Will you punish me? Wait, let me get that to focus. If you wish a bottom shaken, then I'll do it as much as you like. So then, of course, Loki shows up because he's like the OP spirit, and he just teleports right behind the sniper. Defeats him, and they all use their powerful moves. And we even get the Sky Dragon Roar, we get Hair Shower Plover, and Lucy Kick, and Virgo Kick, the most powerful of all the moves. So they all did it. They're all smiling at each other. It's a beautiful thing. So that's cool. And basically, Flare tells them the whole story about how she was raised by the Giants, but then wanted to fit in with the humans. Ended up with the Dark Guild, Raventail, and now she's here. So elsewhere, because everyone's been separated, we have Happy and Carla just shivering as this giant bird monster thing is circling around. Natsu running away, and Urza struggling in her battle against Minerva. She's not even a battle, just getting beaten by Minerva here. And then Gray runs into Doriate, and he's like, oh, another one. What's another boy doing here? I'm going to eat you. So he uses his magic again to turn Gray into a child. And this triggers a flashback to Gray as a child when he saw his village destroyed by Deliora. And, this Dorate looks a lot like Deliora. And gives him flashbacks of his mother's death, of Or's death, and of Ultir's death. All the women who have sacrificed their lives in Gray's survival. And this guy says, when I change people into children, it triggers memories. And this is just pathetic. I'm going to eat you, boy. So he reveals to Gray just before he's about to eat him, he says, the world of the dead, you guys are standing right at the gate. It's about to open. And with all this, he sort of gets an internal thought from it's either Ultir or both of them. Basically saying to be strong, like we've all given up everything for you, but you've always overcome things and gotten stronger, so you can do this, Gray. And, it says Or and then Tier, like thinking Or and Ultir. And nice ass shot. But anyway, Gray is able to muster up enough strength and says, anybody who's ice magic as repulsive as this should get a taste of the real thing. So they've said that this ice has like a horrible stench to it and just has an evil aura around it. And Gray also notices that this guy is trying to avoid the ice. There's something wrong with the ice that's possibly harming him. And to that end, well, before that, he has to try to use the ice hammer, and it just gets too small. It can't do enough damage. But, yeah, thinking about all that, we'll get back to that because it's going to come back to Gray in a minute. But basically, this ice was used by an ice devil slayer, and him being a demon affects him. That's why he's avoiding the ice. But that'll be revealed in a little bit. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So Minerva is ready to strike down Urza again. And she's just like, you've embarrassed me, you've humiliated me, you will pay. And as she's ready to strike her down, because Gray is, defeating that other guy, his spell is wearing off, and you see the first thing, Urza grows her tits again. And so she's got her magic back. She's back to a full-grown Urza and ready to fight. And we get a nice little kick there. And, because when she turned small, all her armor fell off. So I guess, does Urza not wear undies, or do they fall off too? So she's not wearing any underwear. And so to cover up, she grabs Minerva's robe or whatever. You see Minerva, she's got like granny panties on. All the other characters wear like socks and shit, it seems. But she grabs that to sort of humiliate her again. Gray's back to normal. And same with Natsu. We see Natsu down there. But, Lucy and Wendy haven't been affected yet. So this guy goes completely berserk, turning into a demon. And just like Deliora, and it's like, oh, it's a demon from the Book of Zereth. So this is where Gray figures out the ice, that he's afraid of it. And before that, he howls, and it affects everyone again. It affects Gray, Natsu, Urza, even Minerva. Look at Minerva. Oh no, even I shrunk. Even Lucy, Flair. But somehow Wendy is not really that much change, and oh, Blondie, you're cute. You too. I think we have bigger priorities. The treasure hunters are all small. Happy and Carla turn small where their magic's not working anymore. And that's exactly what Gray does. He uses the ice around him to affect the monster. And he sort of uses his fist to suck some of it up to use it as his own. And also, I guess, Carla and Happy swooped in to save him for a minute. So he's able to harness all the ice magic from the ground and fire it right back this guy. And that's it, man. He defeats him. So just before he dies, he says, "You guys just open it up. The gate to the underworld. There's no going back now. And one more thing." And that monster who's chasing Happy and Carla just gobbles him up before he can spill the beans. And look at those two. Not that thing again. Oh no. So they're all back to normal. And they come across Natsu, to which Natsu's like, "Hey, what's that Flare girl doing here? I thought she was evil." "Oh, you're a friend? Oh, all good." So they're looking for the eternal flame, to which they find what they assume is a mountain, when in all actuality, it's the ice covering the flame itself. Because that's how they found the flame in the first place. All the giants were guarding it, so they're all facing a certain direction, and they're all frozen that way, so they just followed all the giants up to here to find the eternal flame. So they're all finally back here. Gray being chased by this giant beast. And you get a great moment here where Gray's like, all right, I figured out the deal with this ice, so I'm going to use it to melt it and bring the flame back. And, all right, Natsu, you got to buy me some time, so take care of that giant bird. And if you remember in the last volume, the two of them were going at it. They were sort of fighting. So with that, we get this great shot here. Can you do it? Yeah. Go for it, Gray. Go for it. Natsu, they both say go for it at the same time, give each other a high five. So I love that scene. You know, if you've been following along, reading all the volumes and stuff, you saw the last volume how they were sort of like fighting with each other. They were like butting heads, like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of you. And here they reconcile and are able to put aside their differences for that. So Natsu just comes charging at the beast, gives it a kick, and starts battling it. And that's just that. So everyone's cheering him on. And Gray is trying to basically melt the ice. To which he does. We get this great shot here. Look at Happy's face again, completely shocked. And they see that in melting the ice that the flame is gone. But Wendy has a strange sensation where she's felt this magic power before. So what she does is, before Wendy can come to her realization, everyone's like, oh no, the eternal flame's gone, and Flare is completely beside herself because it's the flame that's kept the village safe for thousands, or rather hundreds of years. And Wendy says she still feels a presence, so she's going to use her Milky Way magic, which she used to sort of summon the spirit of Zirconis back during the Grand Magic Games arc. And again, Natsu's buying some more time with this monster before they can, you know, bring the flame back, and he just starts firing away, and Natsu gobbles up, like this beast fires a beam at Natsu, and he gobbles it right up, which is great, you know, gives him a superpower, and he's flying right at it, and crashes in. I mean, this is just great, man, with him doing all his techniques. And meanwhile, I guess Urza and Minerva are still fighting. Urza is able to re-equip again, get her armor back on, and Natsu uses, what is this move here, the Blaze of Fire Exploding Blade. Wow. So with that, and that huge explosion, it was able to ignite the flame yet again. Also with Wendy's magic, she helped too. And they see that the flame is actually the fire dragon Atlas Flame, who Natsu befriended in the battle against Rogue a few volumes ago, and said he was a relative of Igneal. That's why he was so friendly with Natsu. And you know, this is 400 years in the past. They opened the Eclipse Gates. But Atlas Flame still remembers Natsu. And he says, has it been 400 years, child of Igneal? Great shot of that guy right there, Atlas Flame. So, essentially, he reveals that he's dead. And this is just his spirit that's been kept intact to keep the flame going. And he says his memories are clouded at this point. And another thing that he says is, it was one single person that turned this village into ice. And he's like, oh, it's the work of an ice wizard. And Atlas Flame says, that man thought I was evil. He froze the village to eliminate me. He is a wizard who exercises evil, a devil slayer, the ice devil slayer. And they're like, what the hell, a devil slayer? So that's when Greg comes to the realization. I sort of got ahead of myself, but that's how he figured out that, you know, that demon who he fought was scared of the ice because it was used by an ice devil slayer, one that can defeat the demons. So before Atlas Flame decides to leave, Flare begs to him, you know, will you just please help me bring all the giants back to normal? And Atlas Flame says, I remember, I am the fire of the giants, Atlas Flame, so I will set this village free for you. My name is the fire dragon Atlas Flame. I am the guardian dragon of this village. And then, just before he disappears, first of all, we get these scenes where it's like extremely hot. And, you know, Lucy's like, I'm so hot, Gray, cool you off. Because Gray's unfazed by the heat because he's an ice wizard. But he has these ominous words where he says, Igneal, the Dragon King Festival, Acnologia, Zerif. I remember it all. The wickedest, most vicious demon in the book of Zerif. END. 400 years ago, Igneal tried to destroy END, but failed. I'm calling it END because in the back they say that's how it's pronounced, not end. But with that, he vanishes and all the giants turn back to normal. So, they're like, oh, what are these humans doing here in our village? So Minerva scurries away and is like, oh, I'll face you at the ultimate stage. Just you wait. We'll plunge the entire world into darkness. So she's going to return at some point. And the village is all back to normal. All the giants have returned. And it's just a beautiful thing. So it ends over here with this guy coming over here to this man. Silver Sama, the main office is calling a convocation. I'm visiting a grave, maybe later. This time, every member of the 9 demon gates has been summoned. Ice Devil Slayer Silver Sama, please comply with their demand for your presence. Don't act scared. I ain't gonna bite your head off. The only thing I'm interested in is eating demon souls. And here we have it. One of the 9 demon gates of Tartaros, Absolute Zero Silver. The Ice Devil Slayer. So, goddamn, another great volume, I have to say. And this is it, man. We're getting ready for the Tartaros Arc. So, we've seen the Bomb Alliance, we've seen the Oracion Sace, and we've seen Grimoire Heart. Now it's time for the final showdown of Tartaros. And we have this right here. We got the ominous words from Cobra at the end of what was that, volume 30, or rather volume 40, I believe. He said, the gate to the world of the dead is open. So, and I want to show you this thing in the back, which is a printing error. And here are the demons, by the way. Look at them all. But there's printing errors in the back here. You see, like, the text, because this is the preview for the next volume, but these are pages from this volume, and, like, look how it's printed. You know, like, it's clearly in the incorrect spots. I mean, what the hell, man? How are you supposed to read that? So, I don't know if this is like a rare copy or they're all printed like this or what the deal was, but I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, this is a nice little filler, not even a filler arc because it is important to the story, but a nice change in pace after we got the epic Grand Magic Games and the battle against the dragons to, 2 little volumes here to get ready for the Tartaros arc, which that begins in the next volume. So, I really enjoyed this one. A lot of great stuff. And I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait for you guys to read along with me and see what happens next as well. And, well, stay tuned for more reviews coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.